What's going on, everybody? It's Falchion with you once again, and once again we are here unboxing my world, and this one is going to be is going to have a little bit something extra. Not only are we going to unbox this this next item, but we're also going to do my 1 week turn into two, kind of look at the ROG Ally and let you know what I think about it and who are the people I think it can benefit. Who are the people I think can benefit from it outside of just gamers like myself or what have you. So without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, we got to use the knife this time. Or at least this time you guys get to see it. So right in here, what we have is ROG's docking. What do they call it? ROG gaming charger dock. So fair enough. Good name. And if you watch the last video, my last video, actually we're gonna need this, regarding the Mini Sapporo docking station, 6-in-1 Steam Deck dock. You'll remember me saying that I gotta be careful. There might be all kinds of information here that I didn't know. Oh, it's just my name. Yeah, it's just my name. No big deal. My name is Ray. So, yeah. If you saw that video, you might remember me mentioning that all third-party docks, no third-party dock can fully push the ROG Ally to its full potential for reasons that nobody really has the answer to at this point. There are suspicions and we suspect this, that, and the third. You know what? It's just plastic. And then we have this. But this is the device that I had mentioned in that video that could, and it's ROG's own device, so you would expect that it would, right? Let's crack into here. So this is on the basic face of it, it's just a wall charger, right? But it's not just a wall charger. So there's a lot going on here. And we'll move the box there. So In Search of Incredible, I think that's their logo for at least for the Ally related stuff. It may be more. Okay, this is, so that's a kind of like an instruction manual with warranty card. You know, we get that in everything. And then this is just going to be a big pamphlet type deal, giving you all the information on it in several different languages. You're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. So, yeah. That's what comes loose in the box. Here we have the brick itself. Slide this plastic off. Start it off real nice and easily. There we go. It's cool. It has the flip out prongs. You know, that's the way they look in the US. For anybody not in the US and that doesn't know and might care. Yeah, I understand. That's nobody. We also have so on here we have an HDMI 2.0 port, a USB 2.0 port, as well as a USB-C port. Okay, and that's going to all be important in just a moment, I'm guessing. Here we have a USB-C to USB-C cord, and this kind of goes into a question I got from Plank. He was asking about the charger that comes with the device and whether or not it was a separate brick, and it's not, but you can get a separate brick for it. And I got mine mainly for travel, and especially because I'm about to travel in like less than a week. I'm going across country for a while, and so I want to have something. I like having things plugged in, right? So if the Ally is plugged in here at my house, right, then I don't want to unplug it if I don't have to. Wow, this cord is long. This cord is more than 6 feet long because I'm 6 feet tall and I have a 6-foot wingspan, and I can't even spread my arms wide enough to hold it and end on end. Take these off. But so I needed, or I wanted, I wouldn't say I needed, I wanted a travel power brick, something that can live in my bag or whatever. But man, this actually might have to live at home, and the one that came with it live in the bag. This thing is really nice. I don't understand this. It feels like this would slide into something and lock for some reason, but yeah, maybe there's instructions for that I refuse to read, huh? I gotta unplug something here. We're gonna go ahead and unplug the one for the Ally. Oh, and so Plank, I don't know if I showed you. I think I did, but yeah, that's it. And yeah, it has a permanently attached wire, and it doesn't fold. Although it kind of looks like it could pull away, but I'm not going to tug on that hard enough to really find out. And I know this is just off camera for you guys. I apologize for that, but that's the room I have right now, so hope you guys can understand. And unplug that and plug in that. Okay, so yeah, and so let me just make sure there's nothing else here. This is an awful lot of box, and no, it's just an awful lot of box, which is fine, you know. And I'll deal with that in a minute or later. So yeah, let's go ahead and plug in the HDMI and see what we get. And it's always super hot in here. So boom, HDMI is now plugged in. You saw the screen go blank here. Let's see what we get up there. And there you go. Let me grab my glasses, because the screen is just outside of my viewing range. Oh, I guess it would have been nice if I had the mouse and keyboard over here. So like I said, it has the HDMI 2.0, a USB A 2.0 as well. So like plugging in something like a mouse and keyboard, or like a dongle for a wireless mouse and keyboard, no problem with this. I don't know why that came up, but thank you. And we wanted to see the turbo. Yeah, the turbo is at 30 watts here. Oh, you can't even see it. Let me bring that up and kind of zoom in. There you go. So as you can see, the mount just wants to fall down. It is at 30 watts. So yeah, like ETA Prime said, you know, its own proprietary device or what have you. I mean, it's not really proprietary. I guess you could use it with any of these things. it does work. So and it does push the 30 watt the 30 watt mode. And then there are some other things that you can do and get in here and have it push even more wattage. But I haven't really learned that yet, so I'm still learning things. But yeah, that's the ROG gaming charger dock. I got it at Best Buy. It was around $60 if I remember correctly. But you can always, of course, look it up and see for yourself. Yeah, it's meant to be, for me, it's meant to be a travel thing, but I don't know if I'm going to actually use it for travel. Use that one for travel. I might just go ahead and use the original one for travel and keep this plugged in at home because it's nice and you know, I can hook it up to a screen pretty easily or what have you. But let's get into what I think about the device after around about 2 weeks now. Actually, let's talk about the good and the bad and the ugly now. I don't like that. Let's talk about what people are sending it back for. I'm not trying to get you to get a device for the sake of having a device. I want you to get this device if you think you would like it. It's like I said, it's been about 2 weeks now, so my return time has passed, and not once have I thought about returning it. I have no desire to do that whatsoever. Let me just put something on screen because this is kind of boring looking. Oh, that's right, there were all these updates that I needed to do. I forgot I'd been passing that kind of stuff up. So I hope you guys don't mind watching an update happen. Like I was saying, I have not for a moment thought about returning it. I like it way too much. Where does it sit in the trio that are now my three handhelds? The One X Player, listen, I'm 100% honest, I cannot recommend it to anybody. The device itself is cool. It works. It still works. The problem with mine is that the screen doesn't work anymore. But when I hook up an external screen, it works fine, and then the device as a whole works fine in that way. Let me just put something on the screen for you guys to have playing in the background or something. What does that say? Anyways, but the customer service is horrible, and if you don't know, my One X Player is one that I got as a part of the Kickstarter, and you know, it was a Windows 10 machine, and I upgraded it to Windows 11. Everything worked fine, and then one day the screen just didn't work. Nothing happened, didn't drop it or anything. And you know, if I had, I'd tell you, just like I dropped something on my Steam Deck and destroyed it, and had to have it and had to return it or send it in for repairs or what have you, or just replacement. So I'm letting you know that if I had done something to mess it up, I would let you know, but I didn't. It's just one day it was working. The next day when I woke up and wanted to mess with it, it wasn't working for some reason, and it was sitting in the same spot. I don't know. Maybe something came loose in there. I don't know, but I was talking to the people over at One X or what have you, and I can't remember the name of the company, and you know, we're troubleshooting and everything, and then they asked me to send it back, and I tried to send it back, but this was during COVID, and so the people here at I think it was DHL that I was going to try and send it back, ship it through, said that China wasn't accepting any shipments from the United States. Whether that be because at the time we had a president that was absolutely disrespecting them, or they were worried about COVID or whatever, and I couldn't ship it, right? And so they asked me if an external monitor worked, and I hadn't tried it. I tried it and it did. And once they found that out, they went communication silent, and wouldn't reply to anything anymore. So it's, to me, it came across as they felt like, well, it works, the device works, it's just the screen that doesn't work. And that's true. And I can use it as a desktop, and do use it as kind of a desktop, but it's meant to be a handheld, and I would like to use it as that as well. So I cannot recommend that. And that long story to let you know. Oh, and then the Steam Deck. I love the Steam Deck. Like I said, though, I dropped something on it. Completely my mistake, my mess up. Broke the screen, sent it in, let them know what the deal was, let them know that, hey, it was my fault. I understand that I'm going to have to pay for a replacement or whatever. I'd like to get it done as quickly as possible. And they just replaced it without, they did say that, I need to understand that I would likely have to pay for it. And I'm like, cool, yeah, it was completely my fault. But they replaced it on their own dime and everything. So, Valve in their handheld, an awesome company. I highly recommend the Steam Deck, especially if your whole PC experience is going to consist of playing games off of Steam. It doesn't play every game that's on Steam, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed, right? And then we have the ROG Ally. So let's talk about the reasons people are getting rid of their ROG Allies. First, there's the I don't know, I hate saying it like this, but there's the fanboy aspect of things, right? There are some people that just don't like Asus, and yeah, that happens in the PC world as well as a console world. So there are those people that simply don't like Asus, that don't want Asus to have your business. And if I were you, I would absolutely disregard anybody that you could just tell comes across that way. Then there are people that have legitimate issues. One of the biggest issues I hear people talking about is that the micro SD card is messing up, and they're not able to play anything off of it. And one guy even said that it gets so hot that it ejects. I don't really understand how that works, because it's a mechanical system where you would have to push down to eject it. But who am I to argue with him about that? But that, and if that is a concern for you, I can understand why you wouldn't want to get it or what have you, but that's not everybody, and that's not even most people. I can't really speak on that yet, because I've got a micro SD card that'll be here today. So I haven't had the opportunity for that to happen. But, one thing you should know, if you do get this, or even at this point, the Steam Deck, is you're what's considered an early adopter, and you need to understand that. You need to understand that there's going to be like these growing pains. People seem to forget, right now with the Ally taking the spotlight, that when the Steam Deck was first released, people were having issues with it as well. No electronic is going to come out perfectly suitable for everybody and doing exactly what it needs to do. These are machines made by humans, designed by humans, and put together by, at the very least, other machines made by humans, right? So you can expect some people to have problems. It sucks. Yes, I'm not condoning it or whatever, but as an early adopter and a person that early adopts a lot of things, right? That's something that I understand. That's why, sorry, I hit the mic. That's why, as mad as I am, and as much as I cannot recommend getting a 1X player, I can say to you that the device itself, you know, the concept of it and the way it worked, and even the way it works now, mine is a cool device, right? Unfortunately, mine has an issue, and the company that made it is not willing to step up, or at the time, you know, it's been a couple of years now, but at the time weren't willing to step up and help me out with it. Even if one of my questions was, can you recommend someone here in the United States that I could take it to have it repaired here? You know, they wouldn't even answer that question. I wasn't asking them to pay for it or anything like that. I was just, look, I need somebody that can repair this. But again, that you have that end of the spectrum with 1X player, and then you have Valve on the totally opposite side, whose customer service is excellent, who really stands behind their product. And now you have the ROG Ally, and people are able to send them in, get their money back, or get them RMA'd and have them repaired and sent back to them. So and I haven't heard of anybody having an issue doing that. So in that respect, that's good in my book, especially as a machine that we are in its early adoption phase. Like, the 1X player is not there anymore because it's been out. There are other iterations of it. That's what removes it from early adopter status to me, once there are other iterations of it, and these two machines aren't there yet. What else? Oh, and then there are people who are sending it back, and I really don't get this, because they hate Windows 11 or Windows in general. Why did you get it if you hate Windows in any way, shape, or form? It's a Windows machine. We all know that. We all knew that. That's not a surprise. If you are a person who doesn't like Windows for whatever reason, this may not be the machine for you, because it is a Windows machine. And if you look at a computer and think, I cannot deal with Windows, this is not for you. Who do I think would really benefit from it, outside of gamers? Students, maybe not young students, but anyone in high school or above, anyone who can be, actually, yeah, I'll say it that way. Anyone who can be responsible about gaming and then doing their work, because this is an excellent little desktop setup. Say you're in college, you have like this much space in the room that you're sharing with somebody else, or a couple of somebody else's. This doesn't take up much space. And then while you're on break at your part-time job, you can throw this into your sling bag or something. Like, I have mine right here. Just it fits nicely in there. And during your break, you have something to do, or while when you travel back home to visit your family or whatever, you can take your PC with you or what have you. And yeah, you can do that with a laptop as well, for sure. But what's more convenient, and that's what it's all about. This comes down to a matter of convenience. You see that I have games on here, and including Call of Duty. Call of Duty works really well on here. I haven't had any issues with it on it. Well, no, that's not true. When I first started, I had some issues, and it turned out I needed to do an update, and that's something that I am discovering about the Ally. You will do an update, or so far for me, I will do an update and thinking that it will just do all the updates that it needs to do, and that hasn't been the case. So I'll do an update, I'll try to play something, have an issue, freak out, because I'm not a PC guy, and think, well, let me try to update it again, and then do another update, and then everything will work fine, right? So, you know, so that might be another thing. If you don't like updates, then you probably just simply don't like PCs, right? Because PCs, when it comes to PCs, and that's any of them, there are going to be a lot of updates. You know, they're constantly changing things and making things better, and that is not a bad thing, guys. I will say that. But yeah, I will agree with you if you're one of the people who say it's not as simplistic, or simplistic is not the word I'm looking for. If it's not simplified, isn't the word either, but it's close enough. It's not as simple as dealing with a console. Consoles also have updates, and sometimes it can seem like there's a lot of them, all back to back or what have you, but not nearly as many. And that's what it is. It's far less. PCs are far more complicated to have to deal with than consoles, at least in my experience, and most people's experience that I have spoken to. So, will I ever get rid of this? No. If something happens to it, I will send it back, and with the hopes that I'm getting a new one or getting it repaired or whatever. But am I gonna send it back and say I don't want it, I want my money back or something? No way. That's not gonna happen. I like it way too much, and I am discovering, you know, on a daily basis more and more about it, and you know, and as I discover more and more about this, I'm discovering more and more about PCs just in general. And then now we've added, this is going to disconnect it from the television or the monitor. Now we've added the ROG gaming dock. You know, that's actually a little warm. I will admit that, though. I'm obviously holding it, and it's not an issue. Like, I'm not being burned, but it's just a little warm. Like, it's literally a little warm. Oh, look at that. It's still trying to... I was wondering about that. It was still trying to and actually, I guess it is still transmitting, but not doing a very good job of it because it has no power. I guess I should just plug that back in. But, yeah, that's gonna just about wrap up this video. Again, if you're in the market for just an inexpensive personal computer that you can game on, but then you can also do work on, like your schoolwork or whatever. And I mean, I don't know if you're, I don't actually, you know what? I don't see why you couldn't edit videos and stuff on it. If you wanted to put that on there, put those kind of programs on there. Again, me personally, I'm trying to keep this gaming for the most part. Like I said, if I want a desktop type handheld thing, I have the 1X player. That's all that can be now. And even the Steam Deck, I took off all the extras that I put on there, you know, that the Steam Deck can do, but it maybe wasn't necessarily built for. And now it's just a Steam Deck, right? Now it just plays Steam games, and I mean, you can still do the things that it just normally does out of the box, but like I had Game Pass on there, and you had to do some special stuff for that with all this Proton stuff and all that stuff, and I could play my PlayStation on there, and Epic and all these other things that you see here. But now that I have the ROG Ally, it's taken the weight of that, and so the Steam Deck can just be a Steam Deck, and that's why I will never get rid of my Steam Deck. Not to mention the Steam Deck is just, like I said, an awesome machine as well, and you can't go wrong with either one of them. And yeah, and there you go. So about 2 weeks, I don't know if it's, yeah, I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping very well lately. But I highly recommend the ROG Ally. I don't think you can go wrong with it. It's fun. It I everything that I have thrown at it so far. Yeah, I I would need to go and bring up the keyboard. I don't feel like doing all that because I am about to end this video. That's 30 minutes at this point. Anything that I've thrown at it so far, it has taken and no problem, and it's doing what it needs to do. So I highly recommend it if you're in the market for something like this. Again, like I'm about to take a trip cross country next week, and I can't wait to have this on a plane and mess with it, you know. Oh, battery life. Let me talk about that real quick. That is another sticking point with a lot of people. For me, battery life is not an issue. Now, if you're the type of person that is going to play this unplugged all the time, that may be an issue for you. I've seen it, people talking about it being as low as an hour. Some of the games that I've tried, I want to say hour 30 minutes, something around there. But like me personally, it's very rare that I'm playing it unplugged, and if I'm playing it unplugged, it's for no more than 30 minutes. Absolutely no more than 30 minutes. But like on a plane, I'll plug it in. If I'm at the airport sitting there like waiting for my next flight for an hour, you know, I'm gonna move to some place where there's a plug and I'm gonna plug it in. Even well, in my car, that's a place where I could see no, because in my car we have an inverter, so I would just plug it in. But if you don't have an inverter, you should get one because it's not expensive and you can plug stuff in. Yeah, it's maybe if I'm sitting in the doctor's office, not in the hospital, but in the doctor's office for a checkup, right? You know, and I might be there for 30 minutes waiting for my turn. Maybe I don't plug it in, but maybe I do, you know, if I can find a seat where there's a plug there, right? So I'm very rarely unplugged with it, but if you are the type of person, and I'm sorry guys, that doesn't take away from it being a handheld, neither does it take away from it being portable, because even if you're not going to plug in to like AC power or something, you should at least have a battery bank with any handheld, right? Even your Nintendo Switch. And my Nintendo Switch, by the way, I also always have it plugged in when I'm playing as well. Even if it's not docked, you know, I still plug it in. So but that's me. You may not feel that way, and so that may be an issue for you. That's another sticking point for some people, but not for me. Yeah, but I highly recommend it. It's great. It's at the time of recording, this one is the only version that's out, and it's $700. And here in the U.S., you can get it at Best Buy, but I don't think you can get it anywhere else right now. And I don't know how that works around the rest of the world right now either. But it's wonderful. It's very fun, and yeah, highly recommend it. So much you can do with it, and that's it. I want to thank you for hanging out and watching the video, the unboxing, as well as the my pointers and my thoughts on the ROG Ally here. Yeah, and until next time, this has been Falchion. I'm Ghost. Did I just mess that whole thing up? I did. See how tired I am? Until next time, this is Falchion. You know me. I'm Ghost. Two fingers is peace. Later.